Hey, Lacey, get in here. I need a Phillips screwdriver.
You don't get a lot of breaks. We got one Monday, but we need to be better come Saturday.
And Larson saying, I'll see you Saturday.
They know what's at stake here.
Michael Buddy Kofoid's going to get himself a prelim win here at the Chili Bowl National. Checkered flag, and Justin Grant stumbles at the line and lost it.
Stupid.
Goes back to you. Everybody sitting in these stands, walking these aisles. Without you, none of this is possible. For our fans, for these drivers, for these teams, thank you.
Well, as I'm watching it, it's unbelievable from the first year. You know, we started 36 years ago. We had 35 cars. We could introduce a crowd, been quicker than introducing the drivers that year.
With 12 states present, nearly 60 cars and 4,000 to win Saturday's main, this is a national indoor championship.
Not was it just not only non-profitable, it was a loser. But it's come a long way since then, and kind of like the Green Bay Packers. Somebody has to pass away before you can get a seat.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, make sure those caps are removed.
We stand here tonight in this great nation enjoying this. It's because of our great Heavenly Father. He said, every good and perfect gift cometh down from the Father of lights.
It's great. The only thing you're missing here is the moon and the stars, and it's one of the fastest, if not the fastest, indoor dirt racetrack I've ever run on.
But you can't get more exciting than what you've got here. It's as good a dirt track as you're going to find outside, and it's inside, and it's snow outside, so everybody ought to be happy.
We thank you for this gift tonight that you've allowed us to have for this week. This wonderful, wonderful time of racing. We thank you for your protection of all that have been here this week. For all of the drivers and the crews and the staff, all of the track workers, all of us that enjoy watching racing.
Every year at the Chili Bowl, there's a guy that paints a canvas like this for the previous year's winner or prelim night winners. We won the finale, so then the following year they painted this, and I got it, and so then I decided to turn this wall into my Chili Bowl wall. I've got both of my drillers. These were the shoes I think I wore for the second Chili Bowl I won. Yeah, 2021. This goes back to racing with Keith Coons at the Chili Bowl. This was from 2021 car, so I won prelim night in that and got the painting.
We saw him when he was like 9. He used to come out to the Chili Bowl and race in a little simulator, and he'd set fast time in that simulator all the time and win the money. So we actually got to see him when he was little, and he does an excellent job.
He's one of the best of our time. He really is. Even Tony Stewart said that, that he was probably one of the best of our time right now.
There are many that say he is the greatest ever. Are you in that camp?
He's certainly producing the best results of anybody we've seen. He probably is the greatest, but arrogantly enough, I can't say that.
I get the rubber straight away.
Kyle Larson, when he lost it 3 years ago when Christopher Bell got by him on the last lap, I think the spectators wanted to see Kyle win it.
I thought, how apropos of this building and the aura and the atmosphere, with the snap of a finger, it can just go into a complete frenzy. Top rows rowdies get impatient, and then all hell breaks loose in this building. It's something else every year to see.
These fans they're cutthroat, you know. They really tell you who their favorite is and who they're, like you said, who's not their favorite.
If they like you, they're gonna let you know. If they don't, they'll let you know.
I think I got cheered whenever I got beat. So the tables turned from being fan favorite to them being like, okay, we need someone else to win now.
So how big of a race fan are you and your wife?
I'm a huge race fan. I mean, all of it. Although sprint cars and midgets are, that's where my heart is. I've been going since I was 5 years old. Fast forward to when I was 15 years old, and I met my future wife, Janet, Kyle's mom. Right off get-go, I was taking her with me to the races. We got a couple months into it, going every week. Finally, she did ask, "Is this all you do?" And I said, "Pretty much."
Say Brad Doty. Brad Doty. Say Jack Cottonchild. Yeah.
And I just asked her to please not make me choose. We know what the choice is that she made. She's still here coming.
Here for 1999 as the fans are all getting into the grandstands and we're getting ready to go racing.
He probably went to his first race at 2 weeks old.
My parents are really big super fans. I mean, I love racing, but I feel like they love racing even more than I do.
My wife always had him on her lap at the races, and we would go to at least 50 races a year. And she would sit him on her lap and basically talk to him all night long about how they lined up the races, what the flags meant.
These are the different flags that they use in racing. Green flag means stop the race. Yellow flag means caution and slow down because the cars stopped on the track.
What she was telling him was being ingrained.
At least from stories that my parents told me, that I had a lot of confidence as a kid that I was going to make it someday and going to make it a living out of racing.
His first kart was just like a fun kart. And I mean, there was points there where we had 3 cars and we'd run them all 3 at the same event. He was always, running the most races of anybody.
I never had a backup plan. I've never had a real job.
You're playing the sprint car game when you're not driving.
Yeah, you gotta get all the practice you can get.
Young kids these days.
I've really just poured my heart and soul into making it as a race car driver. My dad, I guess, taught me from an early age, like, go-karts was as far as he was gonna take me.
If that's what your goal is, your talent is gonna have to take you all the way. One year, Kyle raced 96 Outlaw Kart main events, and I think he won 38 of them. Those 7 years are the best years of my life. I look back at it and just think, God, times were so simple. There were no sponsors, there were no people telling you where you had to go race or how the car had to look. It was just a very pure, fun, rewarding time.
It's Friday at the Chili Bowl, and Justin Grant is dealing with the fallout of his critical mistake on the track, confusing the white flag for the checkered flag.
I'm a dumb. Apparently I'm a dumb.
Checkered flag, and Justin Grant stumbles at the line
and lost it. I swore I saw a checker. And they were like yelling at us in the driver's meeting about like, when you cross a checker, you do not smoke another lap. Like I always smoke another lap. And I was like, they've been like chomping on everybody, about everything. And so I'm like, oh, I better not blaze this thing around there.
Dude, you're fine. Who's going to be up there? Wayne Johnson started 6th. He was way back there. I bet you're still going to be top 5 in points. I think.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it, dude. A lot of the big other guys tonight, they're out of it. CV's out of it. Like, you know who's racing tonight. There's only a couple that can beat you.
Yeah. What's up, dog?
We can finish these things 1-2 here.
I'm gonna just try and finish all of this one.
What happened?
No, I thought it was over. I thought it was a checkered.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Good luck. So it ended up only putting me back like a row. Like that whole temper tantrum was over like 3 spots. Like normally it should have been a lot worse, which is like really kind of how my life sorts out a lot of times. Like those mistakes should count for a lot more, but they really didn't. Hey, darling, we're getting an Astro van.
No, we are not.
Roll that thing.
We'll get an Astro van.
I think it'll fit a queen size match.
Studley will pay for a night out at the cigar bar if we buy it.
I will buy you a night out at the cigar bar to never see that in my driveway again.
Works for me. Jones is paying for us to go to the cigar bar.
I think my first impression of Justin was I was impressed he could keep up with me drinking, and that wasn't something that happened often.
Here's the first trip.
How did you meet your wife?
We can't tell that whole story either.
We definitely met at the bar scene.
I'm gonna give you the on-the-record version, and then I'll give you the off-the-record version.
I mean, our story is really fun, but it's just not PG.
It's traditional, Studley.
You call all the 2-2s?
Justin was 21 years old when we met, and I was 26. My family's initial reaction was, oh my goodness, he's too young for me. Little did they know he was much more responsible than I was.
I actually knew my wife's father and brothers a long time before I ever knew she existed.
The car is number one. The man is number one. It's Bubby Jones. Congratulations. Thank you.
Her dad was Bubby Jones, and he's one of the greats.
You had tough competition all night, too. 50 hard-fought laps.
Yeah, we enjoyed every damn minute of it, too.
Bubby Jones to sprint car racing was one of the last guys to really do racing the old school way. I also think that Justin was one of those guys.
What's it take? Yeah, it takes a Bubby Jones chassis and a good set of Goodyears.
Being a lot like my dad, he can set up a car, he can work on it, and he can drive it, and I like that about him.
We were having the kids, and I thought it's probably time to grow up and go get a job. We told Bub and Patty that Ashley was pregnant, and I told Bub, I'm working on getting my CDL, and I'm gonna go work for this trucking company. And he just looked at me and says, well, that's stupid. He says, you're a race car driver, not a truck driver.
That's a midget. You want to do midgets?
I wasn't really into midget racing, to be 100% honest. And then when I saw how they raced, it was like, whoa, do I want Justin doing this all the time?
Midgets are cool. Midgets, sprint cars, anything dirt open wheel, right? It's just a little bit gnarly. It's just a little bit ragged and a little bit on the edge.
The green flag waves and we're off and running here in this one. Oh, they all fan out.
Hold your breath. So all we can do here, we got big trouble.
Violent flip down the back straightaway. Parts and pieces fly.
We go back to green flag action here at Houston's the 61 of Jacob Denny, Justin Grant, Cannon McIntosh. Oh boy, they banged wheels, and Justin Grant's upside down.
That's not good.
In 2009, I crashed a car pretty bad. The cage came down and caught me in the back of the head.
It was way up, lofted into the atmosphere.
It knocked me out for a while. When I woke up, I was blind, and like my back swelled up, and so my legs went numb. There was lots of other little ones along the way. I broke my neck in a streetcar crash. I got ejected out of an Infiniti.
Terre Haute action track as he's up on the bike and gets upside down in turn 3 and 4.
Got my arm all burnt up one time in a fire.
Oh, contact at the front of the field. Meserol goes around. He collects his RMS teammate Justin Grant.
It's been fun.
Oh, you don't see this every day, folks. Hey, I took away what I just saw.
So with like all 85 of my concussions, I had no idea what the question was.
I kind of have like our whole compound right here within a few acres of each other. I love my shop. Like my shop is my favorite thing that I own. I guess probably because everything I own is inside of it. Yeah, no, it's good to have a hub to put all your memories in.
172. No win.
This is probably gonna go far. That's not good. Oh, it says it's good though.
You guys live pretty modestly, is that accurate?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We would hardly ever put new tires on the go-kart. My dad would try and grind them back to life every week. I mean, he's got hairy legs. I remember him always having rubber stuck in the hair of his legs. He would never let me touch the go-kart because he didn't trust me, and that's probably why I am who I am today and still don't work on anything. It was cool, having your dad work on your kart like that and take your racing seriously and loving it as much or more than you do. With having my karts and stuff prepared great, and me being able to go out and win races, it caught the attention of some sprint car owners.
It was just one winter day in February. He was 14 years old, and I get a call from Dave Vertulo, who is a sprint car owner in Northern California. He just asked me, would you mind if we took Kyle and just ran him in the car for a bit just to see what he's capable of? Sure. And he ran, I think it was 85 laps that day. Dave said, wow, he didn't put a wheel wrong, and he would have probably qualified in the top 5 at a Civil War race with those lap times that he was doing. And I was just kind of like, really? He was that good? We were still kind of unsure about this whole thing, was Kyle really old enough and ready for something like a sprint car? I mean, at the time he weighed 75 pounds when he ran his first sprint car race. When he showed up for that first race, there were definitely some people probably scratching their heads, probably a lot of people thinking that this was, crazy. There's some people here that don't like this. They feel nervous being out there with him.
I don't remember being nervous ever. As a kid, I think you're just confident in everything that you do.
And that first night was at Placerville Speedway, the first race Kyle ran, and it was a Civil War event, which had almost 60 cars there, I think. And the night did not go well. Early on in the B, the leader came by and lapped him. The second place guy pretty much just ran over his front end. The next car came by and blasted Kyle, really hurt the car bad. On the way home, we kind of questioned Kyle, do you really think that this is something that you should continue to pursue?
Larson is now allowed. They're going to take him to the back of the Evans to have him checked out.
And he was, no way, I'm racing that sprint car next week. By probably a month into it, Kyle had a top 10 probably in every race that he was running.
Off at turn number 4, the second man ever to do it. Kyle Larson sweeps the 4 Crown Nationals.
He just needed laps and time to get better.
This is great. This is a young man I wanted to talk to. Very successful in the world of sprint car racing. He sets the new track record, David. Oh my. Kyle Larson, good morning. How are you? I'm doing good. Yeah, just woke up 20 minutes ago, so I'm still a little bit tired.
I made the move to Indiana. I was just very excited to finally get an opportunity to get out of California because I knew my career wasn't going to go anywhere until I got out of California.
I still remember the day that I took him to the airport to drop him off, and he was my buddy. It had been 10 years straight of going racing. And I remember dropping him off and driving away and just, feeling sad, like, man, this is the beginning of another chapter.
He will cap the biggest year of his open wheel career with his second Chili Bowl win. Kyle Larson wins the 35th annual Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals.
Justin Grant comes home second. Justin Grant was the car to beat last year, just couldn't quite close it on Kyle Larson.
Justin Grant's always been somebody to watch out for, especially in this building.
I had to pass him to win my first Golden Driller back in 2017. He's always up front.
For a while, he was kind of underrated and under the radar, but here in the last few years, he's really made a stand out of himself, and especially last year, really proven what he had.
We've actually changed a lot setup-wise from last year, just trying to get a little better at the end of these runs.
I think he's got a little more of a hungry vengeance than anybody because he was that close to winning it.
Justin literally goes to win. It's not so much about beating other guys or not getting beat by other guys. I think it's just he wants to win. He wants his name on that list of prestigious names.
I know that whoever I'm going to have to beat is going to be really tough. Whether that's Kyle or Tanner Thorson or Tyler Courtney. There's some really, really savvy racers at the top of it, and you've always got to be on point if you're going to win. I get more nervous about car like setup than I do driving. Sometimes to a fault, like I need to just chill. It's good enough, right? Like just get it close and I'll go beat guys. Sometimes I get caught up on that and then I'm not as loose, you know? So I gotta like close the book and do driver, put my tear-offs on.
What kind of music you listen to hype you up?
On race day, I'm a lot of like rap.
First off, you know I'ma get mine. You know I be bustin' like a Tech 9. Do it for my team, I'ma rep mine. They ain't peep, they been sleep, baby, bedtime.
This preliminary feature is imperative to making it into Saturday's main event, with only the top 2 finishers advancing.
Well, if I was the odds maker for this, guys, you'd have to give Justin Grant the slight advantage. But he's going to have to get up on the wheel from the 4th spot and go get it from Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
They've been to the best cars all night.
The guys you expected to win have looked as vulnerable as they ever have.
I think I'm going to go with Ricky to shock Justin tonight.
Green flag, we go racing. Johnson wants to duck to the bottom early. He'll pull into line behind Stenhouse. Caution flag out.
He's so in tune as a race car driver. If you ever see him at the track with his AirPods in.
What are you listening to?
There's quite a few like rap songs that kind of get you into that flow. I got a lot of Logic, DaBaby, and who's the other fella? Gucci Mane. Somebody named 870 Glizzy. Hey, that song really rocks.
Already in there, poking his nose in is Justin Grant. Let's see how patient Grant wants to be as he's going to come on through with a slider. On Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse crosses to the bottom.
I got on this girl, get your check before I douse. I might intercept pick 6 to the house.
For me, it's really attractive. I think there's nothing sexier than him working on the car, going out there, kicking butt. There's nothing more attractive to me.
Haters can't handle it. Boy, I'm too fly, need a landing strip. On point like a nail in the hammerhead. I ain't stressing about your lanes, I got bands to get.
Grant kisses the wall on the front straightaway on his way down. Trying to get up and around Ricky Stenhouse Jr. side by side through 3 and 4.
The funny part is like, it's not like what I listen to in my free time, but it works for getting me in the headspace I need to be in.
There's a look at your leader. It's Johnson leading Grant in and through the slower cars. Johnson continues to just carry it on up top as he closes in on the back of Wesley Smith. Here comes Grant soaking up the distance. Up over the cushion that time for Johnson. Grant narrows. To the bottom goes Grant. Slider through the corner. Johnson crosses underneath, trying to string him up high, but Grant's got the lead.
And just at the halfway mark, Justin Grant knows a lot about getting through flat traffic.
Better restart for Stenhouse.
Yeah, Stenhouse able to keep it within the same zip code here.
Slide him here.
Locked in loaded. Stenhouse to the bottom. He's not. He's going to roll the bottom as Grant goes the long way around off the line to drive the scoop to Stenhouse.
Stenhouse retakes the lead with 5 to go.
A huge crash in turn 4.
All right, so how they score this is going to be absolutely paramount.
I think it's going to go back.
It's a Friday night event. Now we have 26 cars ready to go for 50 laps. The second row is Bobby Jones.
I do think he's a lot like my dad. That may have some play in why I love him so much.
Lights out around the raceway. 7 more laps to decide your final 2 lock-ins. Right now, Justin Grant in the catbird seat.
To bring them down to the green, they do, and we are ready to go. And Bobby Jones is 4.
Bobby Jones, he's one of the icons of our sport. You know, he shared a lot with me, and he helped me a lot along the way.
Grant and Stenhouse back to green.
My dad would answer any and all calls during races. He'd tell him what he thought that he needed to do to the car to make it better.
He's still a part of everything I do with these sprint cars.
Look at the charts down there. Bobby Jones is after Kinzer. Jones is in the second spot.
Stenhouse downstairs. He's got the lead down the back straightaway. Grant battling back, going to the bottom of 3.
Grant shuts the door. Stenhouse right there as well, coming to 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go as we are down to the last few laps.
I always try hard. Hell, you got to. If you're going to race, you know, you got to go for it.
Jones is coming out of turn number 4. He's got a clear racetrack in front of him.
Grant with 2 to go.
2 left to go here. Down the front straightaway will come the leader. Watch the smoothness of this driver as he continues to go around the track. Jones is coming out of 4. He gets the white flag and Kinzer's right on his tail. Kinzer's catching him. Kinzer is moving in on Jones.
Here comes Stenhouse. High side. Watch him soak up the gap. But can he get around the top? 3 and 4 the long way. Grant missed him. Stenhouse can't get there. It's Grant Stenhouse.
At the same time.
And Jones wins it with Kinzer right on his back bumper. Bobby Jones held off the charge of Kinzer, who made his last second run as the leader.
What a race. Justin Grant gets it done. 6th Friday night win in the last 7 races.
Wow, what a race.
Every prelim night this year has been fantastic.
They're side by side down the front straightaway as Kinzer salutes Bobby Jones for winning the 18th running of the Pacific Coast Sprint Car Nationals at Ascot. The winner, Bobby Jones. And let's go down now and talk to the winner. Here's Tom Malone.
The car is number 1. The man is number 1. It's Bobby Jones. Congratulations.
Thank you.
$10,000 richer tonight.
We can handle her.
Boy, I know you can handle her, but you sure handled it out here tonight, too.
Yeah, this car was working just fabulous.
It was kind of weird when my dad had passed. I was almost more worried about Justin than I was myself because he had so much. He had such an impact on Justin, and I was honestly more worried about him than I was myself. Sorry. I miss my dad.
Then after the checkers, I was gonna not cut a donut. I'm rolling around there and they have the big spotlight, right? And they blast me with the big spotlight through 3 and 4. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll do a donut.
Oh, he tipped it over.
Flip count, cha-chink.
Yep.
Didn't hurt it. Flipped it back over. Good to go.
Justin Grant gets out of the car and takes a bow.
That's my baby and me.
You had tough competition all night, too. 50 hard-fought laps.
That one was rocky. We were able to get it done, but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, we enjoyed every damn minute of it, too.
Tulsa Expo, let him hear it, Justin Grant!
Justin takes off his helmet, and I'm like, yeah. And he's just like, don't get too excited now. We've still got a lot of laps to go.
9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're back on the racetrack for Chili Bowl Saturday, fellas.
In the past 7 days, over 300 drivers have battled it out on the track, all vying for glory and the true symbol of a champion, the Golden Driller. The field has been narrowed down to 24 drivers who now have the chance to be remembered forever. In the world of midget racing, it all comes down to this.
Chili Bowl chant coming from the Rowdies.
I would like NASCAR to just like put them on a plane and to just take them to each race, because there's something else, and I've never encountered another crowd like that.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gift tonight that you've allowed us to have for this week. This wonderful, wonderful time of racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prayer has been said, the anthem has been sung, the confetti has been loosed. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, we have but one question. Race fans from near and far, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Chili Bowl? It is showtime in Tulsa.
I started coming here when I was 12, 13 years old with my dad. Coming in here and just thinking, God, this would be the coolest thing ever to ever even get in one of these cars. And to go from that to where I am now is really, really neat. I've put my whole life to racing dirt ovals, you know, and just going in circles on dirt. There's a crowning achievement in all of it. It's here in this building, and doing my best to go and get it.
And now, 381 drivers checked in. We're down to the 24 best. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire.
If you're in the feature on Saturday, you make that turn and, you know, you get to walk across the stage and, you know, you hear those fans. It gives you goosebumps.
Kyle Larson!
What's up, Bennett?
I told him, I said, when you get in traffic, I said, Kyle will kick their ass in traffic.
I need some help.
You'll get it.
Young Money going for the hat trick tonight.
I hate driver intros. I wish we'd just get the show on the road.
Father, I ask you to bless him and protect him. Bless him, I pray, in Jesus' name. Amen. Go get him, buddy.
Amen. His 6th A-feature appearance, Justin Grant.
The part that's cool to me is once we're done with intros, we're like starting to buckle in the cars, and then they kick all the lights back on. To me, that's when it's like, all right, like it's go time. Like let's do it and let's go win a race.
I always think Justin's going to win. I was just like, yeah, this is his year.
The time is now. Justin Grant, looking at it right now, he could be an odds-on favorite to win it.
Thank you for always coming back. Yeah, thank you guys.
I appreciate it. It's just whichever one got the chassis the closest.
Packed stands is the name of the game. They're going to witness a real treat. I hope they're ready to go because it's about to get wild.
Tonight is just going to be an all-out war out there.
Your time to shine. As for the final time under the pace laps, the field comes and lines up to take the green.
55 laps to immortality. Christopher Bell, Tanner Thorson, into 3, out of 4. Green flag, we go racing at the Chili Bowl. This year, you know, the Titans, the gods, they've felt a little more mortal this year. I think anything can happen.
every race, I just try and play out the first corner. And then from then on, you're just kind of reacting to everything, the racetrack, the competitors.
The NASCAR guys that are used to going 200 miles an hour, they come here and this is slow motion.
You're right on the edge all the time when you're running up on the cushion. But the competition is so tight. From 1st to 18th, there's 2/10, 3/10 of a second. That's crazy.
This year there wasn't ever a time that I thought that I had a great car, but I was gonna drive my ass off to try and win.
Kyle, when his car's off, I mean, he can compensate probably more than anybody I've seen.
We're rolling around in 5th. We're inside 20 to go there. If we're gonna win this thing, it's time to go. We gotta get by Rico here in the next couple laps. We gotta start closing some ground. So get to Rico, then I start getting pressure from Larson.
When you got Kyle Larson behind you, you gotta be a special talent just to not throw it away.
There's Larson making a move. Larson now behind Justin Grant in 6th. We picked off the spot, but Larson's on the move. The FloRacing machine looks really good right now.
Yep, he is up to 6th, and he's working on Justin Grant for position down the front straightaway as they try to carve through a little bit of slower traffic themselves, top of the speedway. And there is Larson, one of the few cars able to use the bottom, trying to make his move by Grant on the low side, can't make it stick.
This is a pivotal moment in the race. If Larson goes by us here, we're gonna be in a really tough spot to win this thing. We need to be going from 5th to 4th, not from 5th to 6th.
I'm really just trying to scare Grant into a mistake. Similar to what I was doing in the Race of Champions, like just trying to get him looking at me and get him nervous.
Sliders in sprint car and midget racing are a big topic. Some people think they're dirty, some people don't like them, some people love them. There's a lot of misconception about what causes a crash on the backside of a slider.
Slide job is you get a run on a guy and he's running the top and you just peel off, shorten the distance, and kind of cut him off almost. You're breaking his momentum ultimately because he's got to peel off the line he was running, and then you get to racing and it creates good racing.
The good guys, they never hesitate. They pull the trigger and they take off. They know how to get across and carry speed on in and get stopped and break that guy's momentum. These other guys got to realize, them good guys are coming through. If you think they're coming all the way.
When you run off at the corner, you see the slider happening on entry, typically. So Larson throws a slider into 1. It's down to a decision being Chili Bowl, and I don't really care to run 5th or 6th. And I make the decision that I need to drive back around that slider.
When you get your eyes off of where you're wanting to go, if you're like, oh, he's gonna hit me, and then like you get late looking back over here and you're like plugged into the cushion way too hard.
Oh boy, Justin Grant got the worst end of that deal by a long shot as his top 5 run ends with him on his top.
Well, I rolled the dice, tried to drive around it, and it didn't work out.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Kyle Larson is still in the mix too.
We haven't addressed this in the entire week in the broadcast, and considering the year that he had, is he the best in the world right now? He's got a chance to prove it. His
lights are out, 6 laps to go.
This A-May and Chris Wilner, this has been fun. This has been everything we imagined it was going to be.
Rico Agra with a haymaker from another zip code. Traps Buddy Kofoid up top. There goes Rico to 3rd.
Here comes Larson trying to be a factor in the battle for the top 3, but everybody chasing Tanner Thorson.
Got this line working for me in 3 and 4, slide myself, and was able to move forward, and then kind of stalled out, I think at about 4th, and then I biked on the cushion. He was driving really hard until I made that mistake, and then from then on, you kind of realize that you don't have a shot to win, so you're just trying to nurse it home.
Gases are up into 3 out of 4. You are immortal. Tanner Thorson wins Chili Bowl. Tanner Thorson writes his name into Chili Bowl history.
I've never experienced another race in the world that it's win or lose like this place. And this place, this building, for some reason, there's 380 cars here, and there's 1 winner and 379 losers.
Tonight, that guy right there in the purple hat, the golden trophy, Tanner Thorson is the one winner.
I don't know. I think I've said enough.
Was it distracting at all to have the film crew following you around for Chili Bowl?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was overly distracting. I think the only thing that was like maybe distracting, and it wasn't necessarily the film crew, it was just the amount, like the sheer number of interviews I did throughout the week where I was asked, like repeatedly, like, what does Chili Bowl mean and what would it mean to win? I was kind of a wide-eyed kid here walking around with my dad, just dreaming that one day somebody would maybe let me get in a midget, and I ended up putting maybe too much pressure on myself and too much pressure to be perfect. I thought it was over. I got to hanging on too tight, was too tense. Really wasn't enjoying being there as much as I should have. I ended up putting so much emphasis on what it would mean to win and not what it already meant that I was there in good equipment and having the opportunity to go win. Just the fact that I'm there at all is something that probably never should have happened by all accounts.
Justin, even as a young teen, was sleeping on couches, sleeping on shop floors, and he just loves the sport, and I think he wanted to make a living any way possible. That really makes him thankful for everything that he has now, his shop and all the sprint cars and midgets and Silver Crown cars and the corners that he has that have so much trust and faith in him. I think going back to where he started, it set him up to be really thankful and really hang on to all of his blessings that he has now.
I think since I've won that race now a couple times, I can handle the emotions of the Chili Bowl much better than I used to. It's still a special race, but now I think once you accomplish it, you your mindset moves to other events.
Thank you, darling. Okay.
And that's going to do it from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So long, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in as you have been watching the 36th Annual Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals on FloRacing.
While neither Larson nor Grant were able to capture the Golden Driller, they both have to stay focused and move on to the next event, because this season of dirt racing has only just begun.
Are you going to win that race one day?
Yeah, we'll win it one day.
Eldora, this place is sick. It's so fast.
People complain that he shows up and takes our money. I want to beat him every time he shows up.
Kyle Larson down to the inside, side by side.
Car comes off the fence, there's no engine in it.
I hope this isn't gonna hurt.
When you get $100,000 on the line, you just got to sack up and go do it.
This is not good.
Kyle Larson, oh, it gets hard.